This is Space Jesus Billy Starks, and you're listening to SitDownMarksPodcast with Primo, Didi, and AJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks podcast is set for one fall. Introducing first, your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the Grith Wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ!
What is up, peeps? Episode number 84 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate everybody tuning in with us today. You know, I got my boys here, the Marks, with us. Welcome back, AJ, you piece of shit. Where the fuck were you last week, you sorry ass?
I almost won $10,000 last week.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good reason not to be here.
I didn't win it.
You did it.
I almost.
They say almost only counts in the horseshoes and hand grenades.
Ooh.
It doesn't even count for hand grenades.
Unless
It's a stupid saying.
Close. In horseshoes, it's only close enough if you're close to the stop to get a point, like horseshoe.
You can't get a laner or whatever, a hanger?
You can, yeah, you get those for sure.
Why do you guys know so much about horseshoes?
Because I'm from the South.
We're from the South, yeah. That's what we do. You never played washers?
No. Played bags like civilized humans.
It's like horseshoes. Horseshoes is.
Yeah, it is.
You
Very
turd.
similar.
Literal washers.
Like that you take off of like a machine?
Yeah, you just buy them at the parts store, though.
This is just silly. Everything about this is silly.
Welcome back, current Angle Trophy champion.
Thank you.
On,
Thank you. You know, I didn't get a chance
I'm
to.
good. Thanks for asking.
He said current, I believe.
Did
Like
say
current.
Oh, you said Kurt.
Kurt Angle Trophy
Hi,
champion.
Primo. I'm doing just fine. Why am I putting his mouth to the microphone as if he was actually speaking? That was stupid.
Full-blown character play.
Yeah.
Go back over there, Kurt. You're fine.
And
Jesus.
3-time Kurt Angle Trophy champion.
It's irrelevant.
Former
Not irrelevant.
Kurt Angle champion, but current Lucha Daddy. AKA
Current Lucha Daddy.
best thing to ever come out of Texas and the best thing to ever leave Texas.
Woo! I
How
like
about
that.
that, Primo?
I like
Yeah,
that.
you like that?
It's true.
That's a new one I conjured up for you.
That's a good
Just now? That was good.
one of your best yet.
Thank you.
I'm doing good. We missed you last week, AJ, but was that last week?
Yeah, that was last
That
week.
was last week.
That
It does seem
honestly
like
feels
forever
like
ago.
a long time ago. Was it last week that Michael was here?
Yeah, last week.
This was.
Oh, that's why I don't remember AJ not being here, because the Better Harris brother was here.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That's right.
It sure was.
That's right.
The winner of the Punjabi prison.
He said he buried you alive.
Yeah, he did. It took me a while. He gave me a straw in the ground. He was like, you can breathe through this. I'm like, because I was buried. I picked my way back out. Now here I am.
Sure did. Here you are. Well, he's coming back next week, so you guys are going face to face since
That
the burial. So,
turd.
yeah, you just
I will
can't get rid of him.
destroy him.
Can't get rid of him.
Destroyed.
I'm telling you.
Happy National Scissoring Day.
Scissor me, AJ.
I'm not quite there. I'm getting there. I'm not quite there.
Will it be there if I let you call me Daddy?
No. Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
Thank you to everybody listening to all the podcast platforms out there, including Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, and many more. And obviously, SportzWire Online Radio every Friday right before the Thomas Bryce Show throughout the week. If you like the pod, we still want to ask you to leave us that review, whether you like us, don't like us. Leave us that review. We really appreciate it. It goes a long way. Also want to make sure we continue to say hello to our Australian friends as the podcast continues to do very well over in Australia. Thank you guys so much for continuing to show us some love. And obviously you guys are telling some of your friends over there because the podcast's still sticking around in the rankings over there in Australia. So they must like what we talk about. And we love you guys for downloading the pod. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I'm telling you guys, keep that up. We might have to go over there, and see what's going on in the Australian independent wrestling scene, huh?
I would take that 20-hour plane ride to go over there and check out some things.
Yeah, if you're listening to us right now in Australia, if you know of any independent wrestling promotions, tag us at Sit Down Marks on Twitter.
Yeah, let's check them out.
Sit Down Marks on Facebook. Yeah, let's check them out. Let's see what's going on over there. I'm always interested to see the local wrestling scene of any place in the world, anywhere, everywhere. I love it. So
I
let
like
us
how
know.
Australia says chunder. Chunder is a funny word to me.
Chunder.
Chunder. Yes.
Chunda.
Means
Chunda.
barf.
Chunda. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And once again, thank you for listening to the podcast. We really do appreciate it. Let's get this thing kicked off how we know how. It's time for that pop of the pod. Let's go to the old way back jukebox. We're going way back.
Yeah, this one only takes a nickel.
Yeah. This one I probably only took a nickel back in the day. And so, let's do this.
Jukity box, baby.
I am a real American.
Why is it? Hold on.
We're
getting there.
Fight for every man.
It's so long. It's having to draw. It's waiting for the nickel to drop.
Yeah, it's taking the album out
around
of
the jukebox now. It's going around the turn. The lights are starting to come on.
What the fuck?
Fight for what's right.
Guess the
This one.
That was so not worth it. That was just no.
Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, baby.
Not worth it.
Would you believe me if I really didn't click on anything else? It just took that long to start.
Oh wow.
Jukebox was like, really? Y'all are playing this?
Yeah.
Wait, this song.
Like,
this song.
this is what
okay.
we're doing?
That was super crazy.
Yeah, so I had a little influence on this week. Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, one of the guy that got me into wrestling. That was his theme song, one of a few, but that was the one that I fell in love with him when he came out to. He'd be dancing, do-rag, or bandana across his head, doing his thing, and just brings back memories hearing that song. It's crazy, man. I love it.
It's catchy,
man.
It is. He was his face as can be. He was. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm the Dirty Bird. It's time to talk about what we're going to talk about. It's time to get into WWE Extreme Rules predictions and all the goings on in pro wrestling, of course. The Marks are going to sit down and talk about our top 5 scariest gimmicks of all time that we have ever seen in wrestling to kick off our October in the Dropkick discussion. AJ and I got a big weekend coming up. We're going to be at 2 shows this weekend, including St. Louis Anarchy and Dreamwave Wrestling on Saturday. So we will talk about those cards, and Primo is going to host Square Circle Questions while AJ and I battle it out here this week. So we've got a lot to talk about, a lot of local wrestling, a lot of big-time wrestling going on. Let's fucking go, Primo.
Let's fucking go indeed.
Get me going, Daddy.
I know, I was trying to.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big Beef.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, let's talk indie wrestling to get started. Last weekend, we sponsored the Zawa show. That was the last show of the year in Sterling, Illinois. Hartenbauer retain the title, spoiler, against Mr. Havens, or just Havens now, I guess he is. So
Havens. That's how you got to say it, too.
Yeah, he's on quite the run here. I think it's over 400-something days, maybe. Like, I'm probably way off. It's probably more like 700 or something now. But
From a Hartenbauer being on the run, right?
Yeah,
not Havens.
Yeah. It's like, I was like, hey, how could Havens be on the run? He
Yeah.
just lost.
Yeah.
Hartenbauer's been on quite the run, and we'll see him this weekend. So thank you to them, and we're going to be at the last show of the year. I believe it should be the 6-year anniversary of Zawa. It's going to be in Dixon, Illinois. AJ and I are going to be there. I believe it's November 19th is that show. So looking forward to that one coming up. But let's talk about this weekend, AJ. We're heading out to St. Louis Anarchy out in beautiful Alton, Illinois at the famous Spalding Hall, the place that just smells and breathes wrestling. And I love it, man. Like, one of my favorite indie cards of the year is going to the Halloween show of Anarchy, man. We've been to a couple together. These are a blast.
They're always fun. I like just like seeing who is. Well, this one's indoor though, right?
It is,
because last year it was outdoors and it was freezing cold.
Yes,
and
it was.
Seeing some of those people in their costumes just committing to it.
Yes,
like the doppelganger Gary J.
Yes,
just commit.
Yes.
It was like 12 degrees
Gary.
outside.
They're calling him Doppelgary. Yes,
I'm excited too. I love Alton. It's just such a cool looking town. Like, it's all hilly and they have like this cool downtown. Yeah, so I'm very excited about this. I'm excited about the Halloween show.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving this card. Like, I always feel like this was extra special. I always try to make this one for sure every year if I can. Let's go over this card real quick, man. Probably the match right off the bat that I'm most excited about, when Gary J and Davey Vega get to lock up. It's, we got two homers right here, just, gritting it out. These guys, these guys speak St. Louis wrestling, and Vega, kind of a little bit on the up and up right now. So is Gary. Gary just lost the St. Louis Anarchy title to Derek Neal not long ago. Mm-hmm. So he's a little bit on down spiral, but still kicking ass everywhere. Him and Vega have wrestled a lot. This is another chapter. What do you think about this one, AJ, man? I got to go with Vega on this one. Just, he's got the momentum, I think.
Which is sad to say. I mean, because I like Davey Vega, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, I love Gary J, but
yeah, it's hard to pick against a former guest too. So Gary J on the pod before.
You're right. Davey Vega has all the momentum. He's doing things.
Yeah.
I mean, Gary J still has the best entrance music in all of independent wrestling, but it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna save him this time.
Yeah. All right. How about Davey Richards and Manders? One called Manders. This will be a kind of a little matchup of different style. Manders the brawler. Davey, the technical wizard that he is. Another guy that breathes St. Louis wrestling.
Manders all the way. I love Manders.
I'm going with Davey. You
are incorrect.
I don't think so. I'm going with him. Manders, he's got a long. I think he lives on the East Coast now, so he's got a lot of miles.
Oh, does he really? Did he move out there?
Yeah, I don't think he lives in Iowa anymore.
Manders. Well, I'm still going for Manders.
Thomas Shire versus Anakin Murphy. Now, we've seen a lot of Anakin Murphy. Thomas Shire, he's kind of Mr. St. Louis Anarchy, kind of a staple there for a long time. Anakin Murphy, up and comer, new guy. He's been in a lot of big matches already. I'm gonna go with Thomas on this one.
I'm gonna disagree with you again. I'm gonna go with Anakin.
All right,
Anakin Murphy. Yeah, got too much speed on him.
Two of our favorites to watch in St. Louis Anarchy: Jeremy Wyatt, former champion, versus Kenny Alfonso.
I love Jeremy Wyatt.
Yeah.
I'm
loves your
Jeremy
shitty
Wyatt.
Comments to him too.
Oh, I love it. When he gives me shit back, it's fantastic. Told me to wear a bag on my head last time.
He did. Yeah, I'm going with Kenny Alfonso here, man. This guy is hot lately. Every match he's in is good, and this one will be good too.
I love Kenny Alfonso. I really like. Kenny Alfonso might be my favorite St. Louis Anarchy performer. I'm still going to go with Jeremy Wyatt though.
Speaking of St. Louis Anarchy performers, another one out of St. Louis, the recently crowned Glory Pro champion Camaro Jackson versus Cody Lane. Sugar, he's going to be there putting on a show. This would be interesting. Cody a little more athletic style type. Kamaru a little more bruiser. He packs a lot of muscle. I'm going with Kamaru here. He don't lose much in Arceus.
Hey, we agree on one.
Hey,
finally.
We're going to agree
Kamaru.
on this one too. Adrian Surge versus our boy Christian Rose.
Christian Rose.
Of course. Now Christian's
Christian Rose.
Hopefully he's done with the family now. We'll see.
Yeah.
He's kind of embarking on a different here. I'd like to see this to be the start. Christian's already a Rocket Pro champion. He's already Journey Pro champion. So I'd like to see Christian make a run at this title.
I'll make a prediction, actually. I bet that Christian Rose will be the St. Louis Anarchy champion within 6 months.
Okay, there you go.
That is by next summer, he'll have that belt.
All right, we got a little scramble match here, man. Who you thinking? Craig Mitchell, Dmitry Alexandrov, Nick King, or Connolly?
I like Connolly. I do. I think Connolly, and he needs to go on a run right here. So I'm going to go with Connolly.
It's going to be hard. It's hard for me to pick against Craig Mitchell, but he's coming back from an injury, so he's still kind of getting on his feet. I'm going with Connolly too. He needs a win. He lost to Thomas Shire a while back, so he's looking for another big win. And then last match I got on the card here, Casey Carrington and Moonshine Mantell versus Billy McNeil and one half of technical difficulties, Raheem De La Suede. Woo, this one's tough, man. I'm going to go with Moonshine and KC on this
one. I won't bet against Moonshine. In any match, like Moonshine. Yeah. I almost put his t-shirt on, actually, but then I couldn't find it. He's a scary man, Moonshine.
Absolutely, man. Looks like a superstar, though, for sure.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah, Friday night, St. Louis Anarchy. Like I said, this is their Halloween show. We always try to make those. These are one of the better ones of the year, we think. And just love it there, man. People dress up. It's going to be a good time always at the Spalding Hall. Now let's flip script, man. Let's go to Saturday night. This is where we got to put a lot of more work in, man, because we got rings set up early Saturday morning for a 3 o'clock show in Peru, Illinois. If you're looking on YouTube right now, we got the show poster pulled up here. Saturday, October 8th at Luz La Grotto. This is the last outdoor show of the year. 3 o'clock, doors open at 2. Dreamwave Wrestling is back. This is their second show back since returning. Crazy card here. All kinds of, they really went all in. This card is huge. It's called Trick or Treat. Dreamwave Wrestling, Trick or Treat, presented by Luz La Grotto, is the place where they're supposed to have the last outdoor show, and it ended up raining, so we ended up being back at the Knights of Columbus building. But now looks like weather's going to be good, and we're going to be all set for Saturday. Now, AJ, I'm going to be in Primo. I'm going to be working on this card, so I'm going to err on the side of not making any choices for this card. But I'm going to run it down, AJ, and I'm going to let you give your predictions of who you're thinking here. This card is sick, man. It's sick. It's
stacked.
It is. It's a nice mix of guys that have been on our podcast, local independent wrestlers, AEW superstars. Yeah, guys that are up and coming, like unbelievable card. Let's talk about it first. A guy that we're very familiar with, the current Iron Spirit Pro champion, but in Dreamwave, he is Just Brubaker versus former guest of the pod, always a favorite in our hearts, Bucky Collins.
So I'm gonna make 2 predictions here. 1, Bucky Collins wins. 2, Bucky Collins steals the show, because he steals the show at every single fucking card that he is on, every time. And this is a hard card to steal too, because it's stacked. But this is gonna be a good match. I think he and Brubaker work. They do work very well together. So, but still, I think Bucky's gonna come out on top.
All right, how about trying to get his revenge? He got screwed over last time because we wanted to see this guy become champion last time. But, he's going to try to get a little revenge here. How about Hartenbauer versus Jay Fowler of Absolution?
Hartenbauer. No, moving on. That's silly. Silly question.
All right, next up, former guest on the podcast, Zeke Zishi, the leader, so to speak, manager of Absolution, taking on former WWE guy we used to know as Hornswoggle, goes by Swoggle. Now, how about this matchup?
Sorry, Zeke. Swoggle's gonna. I love you, buddy, but Swoggle's gonna destroy you because he is. He's Swoggle.
All right,
You
this
can
is
wear your
one of
sunglasses to the ring all you want. You're not gonna win.
This is one I'm looking forward to seeing, man. I've never seen him wrestle live and in person. Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk monster. He's Sir Murder Hawk around here.
Sir Murder Hawk.
He's going against Griff Garrison, also another guy very popular on the podcast here. AJ, who are you thinking?
I don't want to pick this even because they both have a very special place in my heart. But I can't pick him against my boy Griff Grifferson. He's not going to win, but I'm still going to pick Griff Grifferson because I love that poodle-headed piece of shit so much.
How about former WWE? I'm trying to think of this today. Lince Dorado. What was the faction that he was in?
Lucha Party.
WWE. What's that?
Lucha Party.
Yeah.
Lucha Party. Thank you.
Party.
I could not. I was like, I'm not Googling it. It'll come to me. I'm not going to do it.
Dorado.
The guy that jumped on the ropes everywhere.
Fuck. I almost said Fuego del
Sol.
No, Samurai del Sol. That guy. Except Kalisto.
Kalisto, yeah.
There
you go.
Yep. And then the other guy that walked the ropes.
Grand Metalik.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, so this
put all our minds together.
Lucha House Party. Yeah,
you.
we got there.
Okay, so Lince Dorado, formerly of Lucha House Party and WWE, versus
that whole thing that we just
right. Yes, I know. Taking on AEW star Fuego del Sol.
I want to see Fuego del Sol win. I'm so looking forward to this match. It's going to be a spot fest, and it's going to be great. Crowd's going to pop huge for this match. 2 people announced for the card not having a match yet that I've seen is Blair Onyx. She's making her return, so she'll be on the card. And also kind of the guy we've seen on AEW lately, we see Luigi Primo. So he's still going to be on the card as far as I know. We'll see. He doesn't have a match. Can I talk about him for just 1 second?
Absolutely.
I cannot stand.
Come on, AJ.
Luigi Primo. Cannot stand him. I can't.
On.
Like I like fun. I like comedy.
Yeah.
But this is so stupid that I can't get by. Like this is too stupid even for me. He's a pizza maker. Like he brings dough to the like. No, I can't do it. Can't do it. I hate it.
Going to get clothesline and get his head taken off and stuff, and then you'll love it.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Maybe he'll run out on Lance Archer or something and get destroyed. You'll love that, right?
Maybe
everybody dies.
Maybe he'll get stuck at the airport and won't make the show. I'd be okay with that too. I can't get. I hate it. I hate it.
All right, make a pick on this one. Davey Richards versus Christian Rose.
Christian Rose. This is going to be a great match too.
Right.
But yep, not going to pick against our boy Christian Rose.
Both wrestling on the St. Louis Anarchy card on Friday the night before. So
yep. They got some traveling to do.
Yes, he does. All right, last 2 matches on the card here. We got 2 local guys, Peru's very own 12 gauge, the Boomstick, and Hunter Holcraft versus the 4-Star Heroes, which consist of Chris Castro and Matt Nix.
I'm going 12 gauge.
12 gauge?
He's so young and he's learning and he's getting better and better each match. Like I am impressed with him every single time.
All right, last match of the night that we've listed here, Axel Rico versus another former guest on the card, Connor Hopkins. Those damn Coyotes. Handsome one.
I think the Coyotes are going to have a good night, so we're going to go with Connor.
I almost wore my Coyote shirt today.
I did too.
Coyote shirt on today too. I'm ripping.
I love that shirt.
Can't be on anybody's side, but you know.
But yeah,
it's a comfortable shirt.
You can't see yourself either if you're in the forest.
That's right. From the torso, your torso is invisible.
No, you're like, where the fuck am I?
So how about this card, man? I mean, from top to bottom, this is a legit card, stacked. What a great card! If you're in the area, man, of Peru, Illinois, come check it out, man. Saturday, and I believe there's some tickets still available. You know,
not many, so buy them fast.
Man, yeah. So by the time this comes out, it'll probably be less than when we're actually talking about it, but it's going to be a huge show. Let me tell you this, Dreamwave always delivers. I've never been to a bad Dreamwave show. They always deliver. They always put on a good show. They always make you want to come back and see what happens next. Hartbauer got screwed last time, and we're all coming back to see, how he starts to get back at all these guys that screwed him out of a title. Like there's, just a lot of stuff going on. I mean, this booking from top to bottom of this talent is chef's kiss, man.
It's fantastic.
It's a nice mix, man. It's a nice mix of what's going on in independent and what we're watching on TV this day. Like, Swaggle's going to be there. How cool is that, man? Like he was a part of wrestling that we watched on TV for a long time. This will be cool,
Mm-hmm.
He's Vince McMahon's bastard son.
Yeah.
He lived under the ring.
He did.
He sure did. He hung out with Finley a lot.
He did.
Yeah, unbelievable, man.
Some sort of stereotypes going on there, but let's just ignore
the Wii LC ladder match.
Oh my god!
Right? Yes, the Wii LC
with El Torito.
Like, I hate to admit, Wii LC is a funny name. It really is. That's pretty funny.
All right, so come check it out Saturday. AJ and I will be there giving out free Sit Down Marks merch. Come say hi if you listen to the pod. Come get some free stuff. We'll be giving that away, man. Come check it out, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. Let's talk a little wrestling, boys. Let's talk a little AEW. Start off, man. I kind of feel like we kind of see what the plan is for Bryan Danielson here, and I think it's Daniel Garcia. I think Bryan might end up with the ROH title from Jericho later, but I think they're going to let this whole Garcia story boil out. What do you think?
I think that Garcia is going to take the ROH title from Jericho, and I'm perfectly okay with that. This segment, though, blew. Holy shit.
He's already the pure champion, right?
Daniel Garcia?
Yeah. So he's going to take both, you think?
Yeah. But this segment sucked. Like, it was a mess, and it was awful. I hate the sight of Sammy Guevara. I like the storyline with Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia. I love Daniel Garcia. It's fucking awesome.
That kid can't stay out of heat, man. He's feuding with Andrade now.
Sammy Guevara? Yeah. Fuck
shoot
you,
feuding.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. I can't stand him. Go away, Heat. Go away,
man.
Heat.
So,
and then there was this. It seems like this week's AEW was just garbage. It was kind of garbage. Like, this is the worst AEW week I've seen in a while. Like, there was Moxley and Juice Robinson, which put on
rock hard, Juice Robinson,
which they put on bangers in Japan. This one was just kind of like, oh, Moxley's bleeding again.
Did you mention Luigi Primo in that opening segment?
I did not. I did not mention Luigi Primo.
You didn't like it when Daniel Garcia punched him and knocked him out?
The dough.
No, because he was out there.
I make a best pizza.
Oh my god!
All right, let's back up to that real quick.
Must we?
Yes.
Okay.
Not particular to my Italian me, as I like to call him, Italian me. I'm 0% Italian, by the way.
But your name is Primo.
Yes. Well,
it means first in Italian.
Cousin in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
anyway, that's irrelevant to this conversation.
Yeah, it is.
I was just wanted to say, what if the whole thing is a ruse?
What the
Daniel
Primo
Garcia.
Luigi?
No, Daniel Garcia teaming with Bryan. The whole thing. I mean, obviously, it'd be cool if Daniel Garcia is going legit. But what if the whole thing is a mask over Bryan Danielson?
And he's actually, like, Daniel Garcia never stopped being a sports entertainer?
Yeah,
He
never stopped being slimy with Chris Jericho.
I think I'd be like, okay, that was stupid.
I mean, it could happen. Still hasn't happened yet. So.
Oh yeah,
it could. I hope it doesn't.
It would be very quick though. What do you think about Rock Hard Juice Robinson's new kind of gimmick from Finley?
Make you rock hard?
Yeah.
Hard as a rock.
Little Hardy music.
Love me some juice.
Going on?
Love me some juice too.
And juice.
I'll tell you what sucked though was this Soraya segment was eye gouging.
Oh my god!
God,
How
terrible.
bad was
that's
that?
what we could have skipped over.
I'm glad y'all agree with me. I'm glad it wasn't just.
I didn't even put that in my notes.
It was bad. The only
it was so bad I had to write about it.
Yeah.
Like
the only good part about it was Britt Baker had a couple of little zingers on Soraya, but apart from that, it was cringy bad. Like I was
I gotta say, not feeling it at all.
No, that is not. Neither was the crowd.
And it's everybody's just like fucking, just basically just calling her bullshit. Like what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, they're like, what? You can't even wrestle. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
My house stuff. They were on Jamie Hayter's side for sure. That she's
they're behind Jamie Hayter.
Well, everybody's been clamoring for Jamie Hayter to turn for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, this is bad. Like it just added to the badness that was AEW this week.
And what is that? Like, back to what Michael was saying last week about introducing Tony Storm and all that shit. Like, I just don't. Everything they're doing right now with that is not good.
It's missing. Like it's not landing at all.
Yeah, and I feel like
it's all like, it'd be more popular.
I feel like maybe Tony's like, yeah, but it's fucking Paige Soraya. It's like, you know, she's awesome. People are gonna love her, but no, they're not.
She got a big pop when she came back, and I was like, all right, she can't do much, so let's add to the bloated roster.
Why are we wasting everyone's time right now?
Yeah, like is she going to be involved in a storyline, or is she just there for the cheap pop?
By the way, this is a lumberjack match. Let me get out of the ring.
Yeah, okay, sure. And by the way, I love me some Paige. Like I absolutely love.
Yeah,
Paige. But I don't.
But right now, it's meaningless.
It is. It's stupid.
I am looking forward to a Hangman versus Roosh match. Supposed to be next week. That should be decent.
I think it'll be a good match.
Did I miss the part where Hangman became the number one contender?
Yeah. So did we.
Because it was like he came out and he stared down Moxley, and they looked like they were about to make out. They got really close, and Shivani was like talking about how Hangman's the number one contender. I'm like,
is he?
When did that happen?
Like,
did I miss an episode somewhere in there?
Like, did he ever go to the back of the line? Because he should have.
No, not really.
I feel like he went back, drank some beers with Dark Order, and now he's like, okay.
Yep, all right, I'm number one contender again.
So that's all I got for AEW. You guys good on that?
Yeah, that's more than I actually planned on saying about AEW.
All right, let's talk about.
Nope, those were literally my notes for you.
Let's talk about Impact Wrestling. I was happy to see Johnny Swinger is back, doing a little bit of like his old girlfriend, like showed up backstage, and she's like, "You don't remember me? I was the one that was in the dungeon with you." Kind of is like, "Nah, I don't remember you." Yada yada. But mine is. Gotta go with. So it was cool to see Alley Catch on Impact versus Masha Slamovich. They got to be putting the title on Masha pretty soon, right?
I can't see how they don't. She's amazing. She's like my favorite thing going. Like just the name alone, Masha Slamovich. Like how do you not have a title on you?
I know, right?
Masha Slamovich. She wrestled a bear. Fucking bear.
Right.
Give her a title.
She's kind of been, the push, here lately. So it kind of just makes sense that maybe at Bound for Glory, they're probably finally going to put the title on her. But yeah, because she's squashing everybody for a while, and then over like the last like month or two, she's beat some other like higher names or whatever. But yeah, should be interesting.
Mm-hmm. I look forward to it. I look forward to her having a run with the belt. I love Masha Slamovich.
Right. Yeah, I do too. A little bit of a different gimmick, I guess, sort of. She's like, I don't know, Russian meets punk meets, like brawler, but kind of maybe touches a little bit on like Glow from Netflix.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe has a wiener, maybe doesn't have a wiener. It's all very nebulous.
Yeah, so so it should be interesting to see. So if she ends up pulling that. All right, so we got to get old Primo here to do the old Bound for Glory predictions. You ready, buddy?
Well, yeah, I just came in just to do the Bound for Glory predictions.
Way to do it.
Good timing.
Oh, fuck.
You made it.
A lot of stairs. Whew. Okay, so on the pre-show, we have Brian Myers open challenge for the Digital Media Championship.
I hate this. I
Be
hate
a
it
surprise,
so
I guess.
Or is Bhupinder Gujjar going to come out again?
much.
How about Matt Cardona here?
I mean, it was his title. Like, the
yeah.
only reason Myers has it is because he got hurt.
Yeah. He's wrestling.
But they're
again.
homies.
Right. Yeah.
They're homies.
Yeah.
Next up is then that's on the pre-show. And then we get to the main card. It's the Call Your Shot Battle Royale. I'm sorry, Royal. There's no E. So far, the entrants are PCO, Rich Swann, Giselle Shaw, if that is her name, Heath, Bhupinder Gujjar, Bobby Fish,
Fish,
Steve Macklin, and Sami Callihan, with 11 more to be announced.
I'm guessing the winner is already amongst those because it's going to be Bobby Fish or Sami Callihan.
Yeah, I'm going with my boy Sammy. Why not?
It's a battle royale. So
Don't hinder Bhupinder.
That needs to be on a T-shirt.
Don't you dare make fun of gender.
Don't hinder Bhupinder.
Don't hinder gender and don't hinder Bhupinder.
Oh, that one is so much better. Okay,
Next up,
we need to put that in our shop because that's amazing.
on the main card, next up we have Mia Yim versus
Hardcore Country.
That's right.
All right, last rodeo. We're still here, right? Still doing last rodeo.
Still doing last rodeo.
Is it time for
No.
Nope, she's still not losing.
Hardcore Country?
Oh no, I don't think she'll lose until she actually gets to the title.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going.
she'll lose at the title.
Going Hardcore Country.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up we have Chelsea Green and Diana Perrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie and Jessica for the Knockout Tag Team titles.
Raza and Chelsea.
Yeah,
I
Chelsea.
mean, they already have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying they're going to retain?
Yes.
Patino.
All right. Here's one for you.
All right.
X Division Championship. It's the champion, Speedball Mike Bailey, versus Frankie Kazarian.
I'm gonna go with Frankie Kazarian.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be.
I would like that. I want to
Would
pick
be
him
too.
too.
And I'm going to be pulling for him in this match. So yes,
Yeah.
let's go Frankie for old
Yeah.
time's sake, right?
Yep.
Let's do it. I love it.
Here's a cool one too. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett of Honor No More, OGK, whatever you want to call them, versus the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin for the Impact Tag titles.
Am I gonna bet against my favorite tag team of all time? No, I am not going to.
So you're going to pick OGK, right?
Motor City Machine Guns.
They just won the titles. I don't see them losing.
I mean, yeah, I would like for Motor City to win a whole lot. I would really like that.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be great.
But business-wise, I don't see Taven and Bennett losing them so fast.
Yeah. It's coming, but not yet, I think.
Man, here's another one that AJ's going to like. We got Jordan Jacked Grace defending her Impact Knockouts Championship against Masha Slamovich.
Yeah.
Slamovich.
Yeah, it's time for Masha.
Yeah, I agree.
Masha Slamovich.
He's undefeated.
When you were off pooping or doing whatever you were doing, we were talking about how much we love Masha Slamovich and how it's time for her to have a title.
I must go, for I have shit my pants.
I must go, for I have shit my pants.
You have.
I have
Great.
shit my pants.
And that brings us to the main event of your 2022 Bound for Glory card. None other than Josh Alexander versus Eddie Edwards for the Impact World Championship.
Retain.
Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards is a former champion already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would put a lot of steam on Honor No More, but
yeah. And I just
go on, Josh.
Honestly, I'd like Eddie to win, just because Josh has held it for a long time at this point.
Right.
Yeah, and but the thing is like, I don't know. I feel like the last meaningful, like, drawn out storyline he was in, Josh Alexander, I mean, was when he won the belt off of Moose. So, like, you know, all of his title defenses up to now, since he won it from Moose, they've just kind of been like just title defenses. With there was a little bit of story build up with Eddie Edwards, a little bit with EY, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he's not like he's not a mic promo guy.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. They did the angle with the family, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's been a little dull, but I don't know. I kind of think they probably knew they were getting to on that end. He was kind of like the workhorse, had the great story, all that kind of stuff when he came on.
Right. Well, that is your card for the 2022 Bound for Glory.
Awesome. Good stuff. Let's talk a little WWE, man. Are you guys liking Liv and Ronda feud? Because I kind of actually am. I'm liking how it's playing out.
Well, I mean, since AJ doesn't want to speak on this, I will say that, I just, as much as I wanted Liv to have the title, I guess, I don't know. It still hasn't quite made a believer out of me yet.
Yeah.
And hey, this might be a cool match. I'll say that. They're doing an Extreme Rules match. It's outside of Ronda's element, So
right.
like, let's see what happens.
Right.
And that might be another way for Liv to beat Ronda, since she's allowed to use weapons and shit. She had the baseball bat on SmackDown.
Sure.
So, I mean, at the same time, it's an Extreme Rules match. Can't Shayna just come in and whoop her ass and help Ronda out? So,
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not. I'll say, because it's an Extreme Rules match, and I like my gimmick matches, I am more into it than I was before.
What?
Hey,
Jay, welcome back.
Hey, boo.
What do you think about Liv and Ronda?
Yep. She's not credible, but she's gonna win because Extreme Rules, and it's the only way that she can. Yeah.
We have the same opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to make her. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I mean, I like Liv Morgan, but I don't.
She's gone against some powerhouses, though. Like, that's the problem. Like,
yeah.
She hasn't gone against anybody where I've been like, oh man, Liv is gonna win this hands down. Like, but besides the fact that I know that she's gonna win because I think differently, I think business wise, But
so let Liv beat her, and then she gets mad, joins with Shayna, and then there's her motivation.
You really want that to happen?
Kill everybody. It's really pushing for that. There's money, man. I just think there's money on the table for that.
I want Shayna to get her title. I'm down with that.
Probably my favorite thing about Friday Night SmackDown last week was when Kevin Owens walked up to Sammy and told him that he needed a new shirt, and then walked off.
So I love everything with Sami Zayn right now.
It's so gold, man. It's so
Sami
gold.
Zayn's fucking money. Why are they? I'm making a bold prediction. They're going to put the title on Sami. Sami is going to be the one to take the title off of Roman Reigns. That is my bold prediction. Mark it down. Sami Zayn is amazing, and he's money.
It's quite bold.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that, I mean, Sami, like you said, he is money, and it's just so funny because I've said it every week now for like a month that Jimmy just hams him up. They do the secret handshake. Even Solo is like getting into it, and laughing at his jokes. Yeah. And then Jay is just so mad. Like Jay is just like, "Fuck this guy."
I love it.
Yeah, and that boiled over into
this storyline.
Monday night too.
Right.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of little inner turmoil there with them. So let's talk about Seth Rollins, Matt Riddle.
What up, bro?
These cats are still taking low blows at each other on the mic.
I loved this though.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. Now Daniel Cormier is going to be the referee.
That's cool. That's really cool. Having DC there.
Yeah.
I didn't have to look up who that was.
Oh, that a boy.
I totally had to look up who that was.
Heavyweight, light heavyweight champion.
I feel like this is going to lead to a Rollins Cormier
UFC Hall of Famer
Survivor Series or something.
Now here's my thing about this. I actually have a tiny rant.
Let's hear it.
Rant away.
I'm actually excited about this match.
Okay.
I thought the fight pit reveal was pretty cool. Just leaves right in the middle of my rant. And when they were talking shit to each other, all that was hunky dory. What I have a problem with, because this whole thing is pretty cool, right? So you bring in DC. We have the fight pit match. You have the reveal of the fight pit. They talk about it from NXT, all that shit. Obviously, Riddle's done it before. Riddle is a legit former UFC fighter. They're bringing in UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier. So they're trying to really build you up to that fight bill, right? Well, let me tell you this: as a UFC fan or an MMA fan in general, people that have fights don't have fights again 2 days later for the United States Championship. That's my rant.
They might.
So that part kind of kills it a little bit for me. I'm like, stop.
Sure.
Yeah, like, regardless of whether Seth wins or loses, he's going to fight Bobby Lashley on Monday for the United States Championship.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Because of the attack that Seth did on Bobby or whatever right there.
Right.
Bobo Lasho.
So I believe it was in the middle of Raw Monday. It was the first time I ever seen him come through with news just breaking of Antonio Inoki passing away. So that was, usually see it at the top of the show, you know what I mean? But he had not passed or news had not broken. So it'd come on kind of like in the middle of the show. But let's talk about him for a second, man. Let me tell you, being the old guy, Antonio Inoki was the first person face representation of New Japan Wrestling that I first knew. He was the first thing that I ever knew about New Japan.
Same.
Yeah. And, he was their icon. He was their figure. He mixed it up with Muhammad Ali, Flair, Hogan.
That's the
all
thing.
the big ones.
He was bigger than their Hulk Hogan. Like, he was that plus more. He was wrestling, political. It was a bunch of things over there.
Yes. Yeah. Bridged a lot of gaps in wrestling between countries. And
in fact, I was going to say that he was one of the ones that helped broker that deal when WCW and New Japan went and wrestled over in Korea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was sad to see him pass, man, because he is a big part of wrestling history, of global wrestling history. You know what I mean? Like not just over there, but everywhere. he was like one of those guys. I first heard about him, seen his name, and the first time you see him in person, or not in person, but see him on TV, it's amazement. Wow, like he had this aura, this presence about him. Like there's no reason to ever really not ever like him. And he was just such a big icon in wrestling too. Not only, like I said, just globally everywhere. And yeah, I was very sad to see him pass away. How old was he? Did you guys see any chance how old he was? I was just curious. But my dad, he was actually the one that showed me Antonio Inoki for the first time when I was
79.
young.
Yeah,
79. Okay. Yeah, because I actually asked him about wrestling in other countries or wrestling, and he was like, yeah, let me show you, back then, you went and looked at an encyclopedia, and or you looked up magazines and newspapers, that kind of stuff to find out about people. There was no internets and Googles and stuff. So, you had to go put it. So, we'll learn about Antonio Inoki, and then, before you know it, I'm seeing him on TV and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. So,
so that's really cool. That's how you learn about him.
Go. Yeah.
Real quick, I'll read this real quick. So, a couple things. He founded in New Japan. He was a 12-time world champion himself. He was the inaugural IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He defeated in 1979. He defeated Bob Backlund for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship.
Bob Backlund.
In 2010, he was inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. He was in Japanese politics, and he had a 1976 mixed martial arts match against Muhammad Ali, ending in a draw. And
there you go.
Also, New Japan Pro Wrestling officially made him the honorary lifetime. This was right before his passing. They made him the honorary lifetime chairman of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, let me tell you guys another funny little story real quick. So, 1976 is when he had the match with Muhammad Ali, right? Okay, I was 1. Okay, so when Dad was talking about Antonio Inoki, he had to go find a VHS tape. Whenever I was 8, 9, whenever I'd ask him about it, 10, when I was really starting to get into wrestling and talk about it and that kind of stuff, he went and found the match with Muhammad Ali, because I knew who Muhammad Ali was at the time. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, you just know who he was. And he's like, oh, yeah, he fought Muhammad Ali one time. And I'm like, my head blown. I'm like, what? I'm like, a wrestler versus a boxer? He's like, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, and so he ended up tracking it down. We watched it, and it was like one of those things where it was like amazement of how this is going to turn out. It's a total show, but it was great. But anyway, sorry to cut you off, AJ, but that was last name. Go ahead.
Oh, I got nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but rest in peace, Antonio Inoki, man. Like, what he gave to wrestling was unmeasurable, and it's pretty awesome. A lot of, like I said, a lot of relationships happened because of him, and it was cool to see him. Imagine going to a Flair versus Inoki match when you're younger, or Hogan, or nuts, man. Yeah. Two worlds colliding. All right, so early prediction. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it here. I think they're putting the women's title on Bayley at Extreme Rules. Tell me I'm wrong.
Stop, everyone! Stop.
Why?
Little swerve for you guys. We're not going to be doing predictions for Extreme Rules because Kurt here is going on the line for Extreme Rules. So shut the fuck up about your predictions. Get your picks. Putting him up. I'm a fighting champion.
You know what? He's tired of having Kurt around.
No,
you can come on home to Daddy.
He's like, Survivor Series is stupid. You're gonna win anyway, so we're just gonna go ahead. Get the defense out of the way. Extreme Rules, baby.
All right, so he's cashing in on himself. putting it up on the line here. So I'll still run over the card shortly, but we just won't make any predictions.
No predictions.
We'll just kind of go over it. Well, you know which way I'm picking, so I already blurted that one out. But so we won't talk about that one. But we my last note on before we get to NXT, my last note was the Jey Uso Sammy's inner storyline is kind of picking up here.
Yeah, like Jay's getting a little more aggressive.
Yeah. You think Roman's going to kind of tell him to chill out at some point? Like,
yeah, like all of a sudden Jay's like kind of outside looking in.
Yeah, and another thing too, I don't know if you guys noticed, like when he shows up now, Jimmy will kind of like button up, like, you know, Big Brother is here to, you know, whip my ass if I don't be quiet. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, look at them all, and they'll all be like, "Oh shit, like behave."
Right.
Dad's around.
I think Sammy's going to be the reason they lose the tag titles too. This is what I keep.
He's going to be something to where it actually leads to them actually whooping his ass and kicking him out.
Sure,
there is a storyline coming,
and it's going to end up being where Jay's like, "I was right the whole time. I told you he shouldn't have been here. He cost us this," type deal.
Yeah. All right, so NXT, the State of Commonwealth by Pretty Deadly did not get over. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch it, but
I did. It
didn't get over. It sounded like
paycheck.
Yes, it sounded like they the crowd booed a lot and they turned it down.
I mean,
a lot until
you do that in America, we're gonna come on.
Sure. And then the Brutes showed up.
Like, no disrespect to anybody from overseas, but most Americans are pretty obnoxious and will let you know, like, when they are displeased with something like that. I personally don't care, but
sure.
Apparently those NXT fans cared a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. They really did.
So Pretty Deadly still the champions. They retained over the Brutes. But my last note for NXT, my only remaining note was, so there's a rumor that Brutus of the Creed brothers is getting called up to be in a faction on the main roster. And I'd read that for like a couple weeks, but it kind of makes sense now because storyline is playing out that if Julius, his brother, loses to Jason Kemp at Halloween Havoc, which is the next pay-per-view coming up for them, Brutus has to leave NXT.
Which one's the tall one?
Julius. Brutus is the shorter, like wider, stockier one. He's the one that's talking about.
We send him like down to a AAA promotion, like one lower than NXT.
Yeah, what's lower than NXT?
I think Julius has some nice.
I like
spots.
Julius.
Yeah. But
I'm sorry, and I don't mean any disrespect to old Brutai. Sure,
but you like him or you don't. It's all good.
I just don't like him.
I don't either. I'm with you.
Yeah.
My note on. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I like Julius. You know, I don't like or dislike. He's just kind of there at the moment, Brutus.
I especially don't think he's ready for the main roster. I voiced that last week.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think he is either.
Nope. I absolutely don't think he is.
I will say that I really did like the Brawling Brutes coming down to wrestle Pretty Deadly, and also that Bruiserweight pop. That was pretty cool. And also, I didn't realize how much I liked their theme music because I guess I never really stopped and listened to it.
Who, the Brawling Brutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too.
And then I know we really made fun of that name when they started using it, and I didn't really care for them originally as a faction with Sheamus.
Sure.
Okay, I kind of like it.
I think they're breaking off from Sheamus. It kind of feels like.
I mean, I hope they do.
I mean, they could stand alone now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think they needed Sheamus originally as like the big brother mentor, and now they can kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I like him either way. I like him with Sheamus. I like him without Sheamus. Yeah, I'm really getting behind the Brawling Brutes. I think,
like I said, like me too. I didn't care for him at first. I've always liked Pete Dunne, Butch, whatever you call him. I was never one way or the other with Ridge Holland. I just know that we didn't see much of him on NXT before he was called up.
Yeah.
And then so it's cool, and they're good. So
yeah,
I'm liking them.
All right, let's talk about this WWE Extreme Rules card. Swerve, AJ's putting the Kurt Angle trophy on the line, so we won't be making any predictions, but we'll be talking about the matches here. Let's stick right where we were. The good old-fashioned Donnybrook, the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. This will be a Donnybrook. This will be fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be
They're gonna beat the piss out of each other.
Next up, we got an I Quit match with Edge and Finn Balor. Enough is enough. Let's do something with this feud, right? Like
either do something or don't.
Yeah. Let's quit going back to it. Edge needs to quit getting hurt and coming back, and I'm coming to kill everyone. Anyways,
Like, how many new personas has Edge already had in his 3-year return already?
Maybe he wrote a lot of personas down when he was out. He was like, I'm going to try every one of these.
Yes. Like he's slowly eliminating them.
Strap match, Drew McIntyre carrying Cross. I guess this is kind of the first match in their kind of feud. Should be somewhat interested here. They need to do something to put some steam on that, get people more interested. I think it's kind of meh right now. And I'm a carrying guy, so let's see what happens. Fight pit match we were just talking about. Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins or in DC, Daniel Cormier as referee. A little gimmicky. We had thoughts on that.
Not picking a side here, but
sure.
Do you think at some point, one way or the other, DC gets to lay hands?
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I say I think I don't know. I just feel like this has got Daniel and Seth written all over it for Survivor Series. However,
yeah. Schmooze.
All right, we were just talking about a ladder match. I think they said first time ever women's singles ladder match, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Bianca Belair and Bayley on the main roster. Yeah,
because Bayley did it in NXT
with Sasha, right?
Yes.
Yes,
we watched it.
Yeah, Raw Women's Championship, Bianca and Bayley ladder match. I'm intrigued. I feel like this is another one of those. Need to do something with it.
Yeah,
yeah. Let's keep it Bianca. Let's put it on Bayley, one of the two. But
those are the two options.
Well, I'm saying let's do one of the two and move on from everything.
In this particular equation,
yes. Yeah. Let's move on. But
yeah, whatever it is needs to be the blow off.
Yeah, I agree that after the pay-per-view, whatever the outcome,
yeah,
I don't want to see these 6 women in the same ring for a while.
No,
I mean,
no.
We'll have the faction, but the other 3, yeah.
Damage Control already has the women's tag title.
And I love Asuka and I love Alexa Bliss, and I do not. I'm doing a double negative here.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't dislike Bianca. I'm tired of seeing them as a trio.
See, I do dislike Bianca, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Right.
Because Extreme Rules match for the SmackDown Women's title. Liv and Ronda. We just talked about the feud. See if that keeps going or not. So that is basically the card announced so far. Well, we got about 7 matches, I think.
How is that? I mean, you think about this too. How you guys feel about really? Ronda's been just like a regular old wrestler on the like you don't really talk. We don't talk about her all the time, but it's she's around.
Yeah,
just like everybody else. Just like everybody else.
Yeah. I feel like she's dropping a little bit of the MMA moniker.
So it's it's like she's not doing only big time matches.
Yeah, she's feeling more natural. Yeah.
Which I like that. I like that a lot.
All right, that one's going down Saturday night, 7:00, 8 Eastern, I believe it is. So we'll come back next week and make our picks this weekend and see who wins the trophy, and we'll talk about the card, of course. You guys got anything else before we move on?
Big weekend for wrestling.
Big weekend for wrestling.
I really like. By the way, remember last year when it was Extreme Rules and there was one Extreme Rules match? Thankfully, all of them are like Extreme Rules this time.
They got something kind of stiff or something.
I didn't actually see it. I didn't read it, but I saw a headline today where how many Extreme Rules pay-per-views have there been where there were hardly any Extreme Rules matches.
Most of them.
A lot of them, yeah. They just
Yes.
held the moniker name for a while.
It's kind of like when they do the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, there's 2 Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah, just use the whole thing.
Yeah,
Like,
one in the
Jesus
beginning and one in the end, usually.
Yeah.
Christ.
All right, that's going to do it. Let's move on to the first Dropkick discussion of the month of October. It's time to talk about our top 5 favorite scariest gimmicks. Let's go.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks Podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks Podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DD, and AJ.
And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks Podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
Damn right, we're the best.
Good stuff. All right, here we
Thank
go.
you, Havens.
Top 5 scariest gimmicks. This can mean it really scares you. It's supposed to be scary. It's kind of scary. It's a little scary. Any way that you see your top 5 scariest gimmicks is how we're going to start off the month of October to get AJ's favorite spooky season rolling here. So
Spooky season.
yeah, let's kick this thing off, man, with our top 5. How about I go first today?
Yes, please do.
Here we go. I'm going to start off here with a couple of honorable mentions that did not make my list that I decided needed to be on the top, outside of the top 5. Let's talk about Snitsky. Snitsky, he punted.
Not my fault.
That's right. He punted the baby.
He did punt the baby.
I always thought wrestlers with bad teeth were really scary, and we'll talk about that later. But
I think they purposely made his teeth bad too.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Made him look disgusting. Mm-hmm. Like, creepy wrestlers are what usually scared me. So he was in there.
He was even worse when they shaved his head.
Yes, yeah. Kevin Sullivan from the old WCW.
Yeah.
Taskmaster, a lot of crazy stuff. He had, and then my last honorable mention that I couldn't quite put him in the top 5, but just because it's scary, something I kind of never seen before, I put the Fiend in at number. If I had a number 6, I'd probably put him there. Like, he's pretty cult-like, scary, had some crazy mask and that kind of stuff going on. So, but getting to my top 5, let's start with somebody really hasn't been around for a very long time, still kind of getting her way. We used to see her on AEW Dynamite a lot. We haven't seen her much lately. She's been on AEW Dark for a little while. But my number 5 is Abaddon.
God damn it! I thought I was going to be the only one.
Fuck, man! Like, how scary is that chick? She is a zombie-like, blood tripping, and her eyeballs look like she's Marilyn Manson's wife, or you know what I mean? Like, if you know what I mean, it's just scary on another level, man. And she crawls to the ring, plays full gimmick, doesn't win often, but man, like, she looks like no other wrestler I've ever seen before, and like legit, like kind of like creepy. Like, I'd walk around, flights of stairs. Yes, the long way around her because I wouldn't want to connect eyes with her at all.
What if you met her in like a dark alley?
Right. Yeah. So
I bet she's like the sweetest person in the world.
Oh,
absolutely.
She is. She is. And without her get up on, I'd probably walk right by her as a normal person, not know it's her. But man,
she's super pretty without her.
She goes all into this shit, man. Yeah. So like, it's nuts. Yeah, different. So my number 5 is Abaddon. Primo.
So the way I looked at this, I think I looked at all 5 of mine in different ways of being scary or horrific or intimidating. This particular one, number 5 for me, is I would consider intimidating. Personally, even as a grown 33-year-old man, I don't want to see him in an alley by myself, because I just don't know if all his mental faculties are there and know whether or not he's going to hurt me. And that is Nick Gage.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, he's he looks like a time bomb waiting to go off.
Yes, I'm like,
right?
are you good, man?
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, this man robbed a bank in broad daylight. So.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't make my list, but legit.
Oh,
yes,
and
he's
my
scary as
honorable
fuck.
mention, by the way, was the oddities.
The oddities.
The oddness of it, like it's just the freak show thing's kind of creepy in its own right.
Yeah. Like Toxic Avenger type shit.
Mhm.
Like, yeah. Nice. All right, AJ, number 5.
Okay. So I have 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
And when I looked at this, because you said like scariest gimmick, I'm like, okay, well, I got those easy. But then I was like, wait a minute, what about the ones that? So I did a kind of like a mixture between the two. But my honorable mentions, and you're probably gonna punch me for not having these on my list, are Kane, Taker, and Papa Shango.
Okay.
Like I always just really liked Taker, even when I was a kid. It was never really scared me. And Kane had the whole like demon thing going on.
Right.
And then Papa Shango did scare me a little bit, but he was so awful that I didn't really care.
Well, spoiler, none of those 3 are in my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
But my number 5 was one that, like Primo, like I was terrified anytime he was in the ring. I think he's a terrifying human to begin with. Well, he's nothing now because he's dead. New Jack. New Jack is my.
Oh yes.
New
Same
Jack
for the same reasons as Nick Cage. Or Nick Gage, excuse me.
Yeah.
Because he is just a
loose cannon, man.
Yes, he's a scumbag. He actually wanted to hurt people. Like that was his. Like he actually wanted to hurt someone.
Like he tossed a boy off the high rise or whatever. Right?
And then there was like the mass transit incident where he just cut the shit out of that poor kid, and so I think he's a scumbag, and I think he was a violent human.
Like untrust. Like like he said, loose cannon. Definitely.
Yeah.
No. Another one you don't want to see in an alley by yourself.
No. So that's on my number 5, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw my number 4 in really quick.
Sure.
Because Eric, you said it perfectly when you said Abaddon's my number 4.
Yeah.
To me, she looks like the Exorcist, like Reagan from The Exorcist, towards the end of the movie, when she's all like puked up and like her eyes are all wonky and
yeah,
she's doing like awkward movements and stuff. So yeah, Abaddon's my number 4.
All right. So my number 4 is a character that they come in that WWF brought in. As this guy was a prisoner from the prison of where the Big Boss Man was. Yes, allegedly, Nails should have been the face here because they always played out like Nails was here to get revenge on the Boss Man for his abuse while he was in prison. Now, let me tell you what was so scary to me about Nails. Okay, the prison jumpsuit. Okay, like. When you're young, like, if you don't be good, boy, you're going to jail. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this is what you turn into if you go to jail, right? This is what I thought. So, but Nails, he had like this grisly voice. And I remember always looking at his teeth thinking, man, he looked like he could eat raw meat with those teeth and like spit out your heart. You know what I mean? Like, reach in and grab your heart and take a bite out of it. Like he's, you know what I mean? Like he just creepy, scary, type dude. And, he was back in the Big Boss Man era in the 80s and 90s. He didn't last very long. He had a pretty good feud with Undertaker. He cut some pretty good promos on Undertaker. But if you've never heard of Nails before, let me play a little clip for you here. This is like the introduction of Mean Gene when we first see and hear of Nails kind of talk after he's beat up the Big Boss Man. Check it out.
Man they call Nails. Who's the boss now? Boss Man. That was the first beating in a long line of beatings. You're in my prison now, but I have thrown away the key. And there's nothing you can do about it. And no one can stop me now.
That sounds like an auto-tune Big Show.
It does, man. Yes.
Oh, I remember Nails from a kid. First of all, I was like, is that guy's eyes crossed? Second of all, I'm like, did he steal that jumpsuit? And third of all, I'm like, what is it? Like, the voice just made me laugh when I was a kid, because it was, who's the boss now, boss man?
Sounds like
it's still not you, Nails.
Water gurgling in the back of his throat the whole time.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I was like legit scared. And he was like always lean in, and the camera would be right up on his face. You could always see like his teeth, and they were jagged and looked like each one of them was tapped in and out. And yeah. So for me, Nails at number 4, just, he kind of scared me a lot as a kid. Primo.
All right, so my next 2, like I said, these aren't all ones that scared me in particular, but this next one at my number 4 is one that I could see scaring small children. Like, if I were to take my daughter and she saw this guy doing some of the things he used to do during this time in his gimmick, she would probably be freaked out, and that is the disturbed Mankind, when he would pull his hair out, when he would do like mood swing freakouts, like all that stuff. That's gotta freak little kids out. Like,
sure.
And like I said, it didn't necessarily scare me, but I could see how that would be scary to little kids.
Oh, of course.
That's a really good pick.
Yeah, it's a really good pick.
Yeah.
So let's keep rolling on to number 3, because my number 3 is, I kind of wrote Cactus Jack, Mankind in there together, because, just being scary, same guy gimmick, Cactus Jack, a little more dangerous, a little more off the hinges, Mankind, a little more methodical, a little more nuts. You know what I mean? A little more like insane asylum type dude.
Right. All right, come on, honey. We're not going to go talk to him.
Yes. Yeah. And, he was one of the guys that, you always was like, he's always going to do something crazy, so I'm always going to watch. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. So, yeah, my number to get us started off in our top 3, I'm number 3 at Cactus Jack. AJ.
Number 3?
Trace.
So, when I was a kid, I loved the Ultimate Warrior. Come at me. I did. He's awful and terrible. But I was a kid. I just wanted to see him run around and scream and
sure
with his face paint and stuff. And
what he did.
I remember when Jake the Snake turned heel on Ultimate Warrior, I was terrified of Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified of him. Because he was like quiet and evil and like you couldn't trust, like he always had, and he had a snake and so my number 3 is Jake the Snake Roberts. I loved him as a face, and like he's one of my favorites of all time nowadays. But just he was like, I don't know how to explain it even. Like he was just quiet, and that's what I didn't. It was disturbing how quiet he was, and he could like turn on someone, and no one could trust him, and he had a snake, and just all these things made him terrifying to me as a kid, and so that's why he's my number 3.
Great pick. Creepy promos. Right. I'm bringing another one to you next week. That's creepy.
So my number 3 is another one that doesn't necessarily scare me. Big fan, actually, and that is early Undertaker. So when Undertaker first came out, people were like, okay, we know he's not actually dead, but little kids probably were like, is this guy really dead? This guy crucified people in the ring.
Yes.
He had the Ministry of Darkness,
right.
All the stuff. So, he was the symbol of darkness for years until he became American Badass.
Very much so, yeah.
So, not saying, like I said, I'm a big fan, but I could see how small children could also be scared of him.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, he's not in my top 5, but yes. I mean, he had the scariest gimmick forever. So I mean, he probably should.
And he freaking he's like the longest lasting character gimmick of all time.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. All right, let's start with top 2 here. Let me get us kicked off. All right, this is where I tap back into my old days of wrestling. What I grew up watching, that, maybe when I say this name, a lot of people might not even know who it is, but most will, and they'll probably know as soon as I say the name. But coming in at number 2 for me is Abdullah the Butcher.
Good
Abdullah the Butcher. Like that man would cut you and fillet you like a fish, and and would cut himself for the sake of the game. And every time match you saw him in, he was bleeding like a stuck pig. He wore the crimson mask like every stinking match. One of the very first guys I ever seen. My dad let me watch. That I believe. I want to say like Abdullah the Butcher wrestled the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, which was a big babyface back in the old days in NWA. And so, I remember, I really want to watch it, but Dad knew that Abdullah was going to get cut. And sure enough, he is cut probably a minute and a half into the match, and bled the whole time. And I was sitting there thinking, like, he's going to die. Like, he is going to die. And I'm going to watch a man, like, die. My dad just over there watching, chilling. I'm, like, looking at the screen, looking back at Dad, like, he's bleeding. Like, Dad's just like, yeah, kind of like what he does. And I'm like, huh? And then, then later on, I figured out, like, his head had all his lines in it from blading the hard way.
Weren't they, like, so deep you could, like, put a playing card in it or something?
Yeah.
Apparently that was one of the stories out there for sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to make an extra layer of scariness? Is the entire time he was doing that and bleeding all over the place and bleeding all over the people had Hep C.
Yes, he did.
The entire time.
Yes. Yeah. So, but definitely as a kid, man, one of the scariest guys I've seen wrestle was Abdul the Butcher. And guys my age would probably agree. So. Let's go top 2, AJ. Who you got?
Number two, in my opinion, the scariest entrance music of all time. And he scared me as a kid. And if he was still around, he would scare me now. And that's Doink the Clown. Doink the Clown. Like, he had, like, the warped, like, circus music for his entrance.
Yes.
It was, like, all sinister and stuff. And, like, he just... Sure. And, like, I'm pretty sure everyone my age hates clowns because of Pennywise, like, the original... It and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's terrified me as a kid. Like, at any time I heard that, I would stop watching. Because that's how much I hated Doink the Clown.
The little kitties.
And he used to, like, play pranks on people and, like, but they were, like, sinister pranks and...
Yeah.
Like, he still scares me. I wish they would bring him back at some point. And I wish someone, like, really off the wall would play him. Like the time that Jericho played Doink the Clown, which was really fun. But yeah, no, I hated Doink as a kid. He was terrible. I don't like clowns. Why would you make that? It's just well done. Well done gimmick. Blech.
Primo Dose.
Number two for me. That's one for me that will, like, actually does legit scare me. And that is because he scares many Americans all around the country. That's Rene Dupree. You make fun of my pick. Okay, so my number 2.
You're scared of the French Tickler?
French Tickler.
No,
my number 2. I am terrified of snakes. I have nightmares about snakes. And Jake the Snake Roberts is my number 2 pick. For all the reasons that AJ already mentioned.
Of course. He's what nightmares are made of.
Yeah.
And he carries a snake on top of that.
And he bit Randy Savage with it.
Ah! Yeah, it was nuts.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. I didn't even mention that. Whoa.
All right, let's wrap this thing up, man. Let's go from 5 to 1 here. Let me start with number 5. I said Abaddon. 4 was Nails. 3 was Cactus Jack. 2 was Abdullah the Butcher. And my number 1 scariest gimmick of all time was another guy that crazy, nuts. I learned even more about this man the older that I got, when YouTube became a thing, and that kind of stuff. But remember seeing him on some AWA and some other promotions that my dad would get like VHS tapes of, and it'd be like he'd be over in Japan like going nuts wrestling over there. We've seen documentaries about him. We've seen Dark Side of the Ring, but the scariest gimmick I've ever seen in my life, and I think it's more of a shoot than a gimmick, was Bruiser Brody. Just scared the fucking holy shit out of me. Like when I would watch that, even like I would still watch this stuff now, and I'm on edge, watching some of his matches over in Japan and that kind of stuff. But like I said, I think it might even be more of a shoot than a gimmick. But my number one, the one that scared me the most, watching him, the way he do the hoof, 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 like up in the air and all that kind of stuff, and just the way he looked and the big furry boots, and and yeah, all of that just spelled scariness to me.
Interesting.
Bruiser Brody, man. Yeah,
that's an interesting pick. It's very cool.
He's nuts.
All right, AJ, 5-1.
So number 5, we have New Jack. Number 4, Abaddon. Number 3, Jake the Snake. Number 2, Doink the Stupid Clown. My number 1 scariest gimmick, it's also one of my favorite gimmicks, is I believe it was one of your honorable mentions there, Eric. I mean DB. That would be The Fiend. Bray Wyatt, yes. The Fiend. The reason why it's so scary to me is because it's an alter ego. Because you have like happy-go-lucky, like Bray Wyatt, like in his, the Playhouse or Fun. What's it called? The Fun Time, Fun House, Play Fun.
Firefly Funhouse.
Firefly Funhouse. Yes.
Yes.
Like you have that, and it's all happy, and there's a little bit of sinisterness in it, and then you just have the Fiend. Like the mask is terrifying. The red lights were stupid, but just the fact that it was like someone's evil side is terrifying to me.
You want to know my favorite thing about the Fiend's gimmick?
What?
Besides the carnival pants?
The carnival pants are amazing.
Are the Bray Wyatt headlamp?
Yeah, I love the... See, cool. That's terrifying too.
Yeah.
So everything about the Fiend is just scary to me, and I think it was so well done until Goldberg squashed him and ruined it. But yeah, it's one of my favorite gimmicks ever, and I think it is the scariest gimmick ever.
All right, Primo, take us home.
So from 5 down to 1, I had number 5, Nick Gage. Number 4, Mankind. Number 3, early Taker. We'll call it like pre-98 Taker. Number 2, Jake the Snake. And number 1. So I know he was on neither one of you guys' lists. And I don't know why. I'm a huge fan of Kane, but that's my number 1. And I was not scared of him. And earlier on in his in Kane's career, it wasn't until he took off his mask that it actually scared the shit. He lit Jim Ross on fire.
Yeah. Kane legit looked like he was burnt when he took his mask.
The unpredictable nature of it, and I was at a very impressionable age. And so like it actually legit scared me. And I was like, what? And I mean I was glued. I was scared and glued at the same time. Put jumper cables to Shane McMahon's nuts. It was, and then it became like over time it became my favorite character.
Yeah.
Because it actually scared me for a minute, and then I was like super invested.
Right.
But yeah, my number 1 is Unmasked Kane.
When you're at a live show and that like gun goes off when he comes out, that explosion, you still jump no matter what.
He is an ugly man too, so it kind of adds to the...
Oh, they really did it up whenever he took off the mask. They shaved half his head.
Yes.
They like made
him look
like,
burnt.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that they shaved like
and
half
he
his
did
head.
like the hardest choke slam to RVD whenever he took his mask off.
Yeah, he did. It was a hard one. Yeah, I remember that one. Yep. Awesome. I mean, legit pick, man, for sure. For sure. I mean, he's one of the scariest of that era. For sure.
God,
that was good.
Nick Gage is a fantastic pick. The more I think
It
about
is.
it really is.
Yeah. He's the one that's kind of like, yeah, I probably should have put.
Yeah, like I totally didn't even consider.
Yeah, like shoot, scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love you, Nick Gage. So I love watching him wrestle because he's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so next week, boys, top 5 favorite masked wrestlers of all time. Michael's going to join us, so that one's going to be fun.
It's one of those, like, if you're, like, having a beer with him, you're like, is he going to want to fight me?
Yeah, you're like, keep looking at him side-eyed.
Yeah.
In case.
Yeah.
Like, every time you're always going to think he's, like, I'm going to kick you guy's ass, and you're always going to think, are you serious?
Yeah. And you kind of know that.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Or he'd be like, let's go start a fight with that hockey team. Let's
right,
go. And then before you know it, he's fighting the hockey team.
Why was it my turn to babysit Nick today?
Well,
Nick's one of those dudes that, like, if he dropped down, like, 8 lines of cocaine and was like, you better fucking do all 8 lines, I'm looking at him.
Okay, Nick.
And I'm probably doing all fucking 8 lines of that cocaine.
Jesus Christ.
Because I ain't fucking with Nick Gage.
Right. Like an exploding heart is better than fucking with Nick Gage.
Yes. Nick Gage forever. All right, it's time to have some fun, boys. Let's hit that game show music, Primo. It's time to play Square Circle Questions.
Okay, it is time for some squared circle questions, and I finally get to host again. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yes, you do.
So I do have our usual 2 wrestler and pay-per-view. I'm not gonna give away the wrestler, DB.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have 3 potpourris. So, which category would you guys like first?
Go ahead, DB, as the one who never gets to play. You get to.
All right. Let's get the hardest one out of the way first. Let's do the pay-per-view.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start off by telling you now, this entire squared circle is NXT edition.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay, yeah. But, yeah. So, all right.
I already lose these all the time. No, go ahead. It's fine.
So, this pay-per-view was held... Huh?
Takeover.
Yep. I mean, there you got part of it. I can't tell you the location because that would give it away.
Okay.
This pay-per-view was held on December 16th, 2015. There were 10,079 people in attendance. Opening matchup was American Alpha, consisting of Chad Gable, Jason Jordan, defeating Blake and Murphy, the Hype Bros, Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley, and the Vaudevillains, Simon Gotch and Aiden English, in a fatal 4-way opening up matchup. Next up, we had Elias Sampson defeating Bull Dempsey.
Look at that.
Then you had Sami Zayn defeating Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger.
Nice. 10.
You had Asuka defeating Emma. Dash and Dawson defeated Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore to retain their NXT Tag Team Championships. Aaron Gordon defeated Apollo Crews. Bailey defeated Nia Jax via submission to retain the NXT Women's Championship. And in the main event, Finn Balor defeated Samoa Joe to retain the NXT Championship.
So it's NXT takeover whichever city or
takeover Brooklyn.
Nope.
Damn it!
After you each guess once, I'll give you the little notes that I have for it.
You sure it's not Brooklyn?
100%. Because of the notes I'm about to give you.
Brooklyn.
You want me to just hit the dinger?
Yeah. NXT takeover Dallas.
Okay, so no, it's not. So NXT has only been here one time, and in the main event, Finn Balor came out as Jack the Ripper.
Takeover London.
That's correct.
That was, God damn it, that was going to be my
Nice.
first fucking guess, too.
Nice.
That is
Oh, wait, I
correct.
got it. Like,
That was key. Yeah, you still got it. Yeah. You still got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I wanted
Yeah,
to get it on the first guess.
Then it would be...
I was going
All
back
right.
and forth between the two.
Moving on to the wrestler.
All right.
This wrestler was born on July 5th, 1989 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He debuted in 2008. He wrestled for promotions such as CZW, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Chikara, and Ring of Honor. He debuted in NXT in 2017. All right, this is where we're going to get into the meat of it.
Okay.
He holds the longest NXT championship reign with 403 days. His name is Austin Jenkins. His Twitch handle is The Chugs.
Adam Cole.
Gotcha.
Baby.
Yep. Yeah. That one's. Good job.
He is also former member of the Bullet Club, one half of Ring of Honor Tag Team Future Shock, and the leader of the Undisputed Era. So
Very nice.
1-1. Yeah.
1-1.
1-1.
Let's go.
1-1.
Yeah, he is the longest reigning still NXT heavyweight champion. Finn Balor was the former. Finn Balor actually has... Make sure this isn't one of my potpourri questions. Yeah. Finn Balor actually has the most combined days with 500 something. All right.
Potpourri
that might be a question, so I'm going to be quiet for a second.
How many NXT North American champions have there been? Not championship reigns, but how many individual champions?
5.
6.
Incorrect on both.
Lower?
7?
Higher.
Oh, wow.
Higher than 7?
Adam Cole was the first one, right? So
Yeah.
it was after him.
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
Fucking Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, Carmelo.
That's
9?
3 so far.
9?
Nope.
How is there more than
13, final answer.
Well, 13 is correct.
Nice.
Yeah,
You
I knew it
fucker.
is up there. Well, I was guessing 10, 11, 12, and then Solo counts as having it just not long ago. So that's what just added 1 to make it 13. I kind of got lucky with the pick.
Yes.
I wasn't even close to 13, so yeah. Yeah, give him the ding.
There were others
Okay.
like Gargano held it. Velveteen Dream held it. Damian Priest held
Velveteen
it.
Dream.
Yep.
What's
Damian
that boner
Priest.
doing?
Terrible things.
Yes.
Going to jail, hopefully.
Yeah.
Keeps it up.
Next up. So that's what, 2 for dirty?
2 to 1.
Next up. Who were the longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions?
DIY.
FTR.
No to both?
No to both.
The Ascension.
The Ascension is correct.
Oh, nice.
With 364 days.
Poor Ascension.
Early run, huh?
So that's,
That's
damn,
2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Good thing I had 5 questions on here.
Comes down to this.
It does
Bring
come
it.
down to this. Let me take a drink.
How am I
Red
this
Circle
close on the category
Championship.
I'm worst at? I'm terrible at NXT stuff.
First one to yell it out gets the point and wins the game.
All right.
Match point. Who was the oldest wrestler to win the NXT Heavyweight Championship?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah!
At 42 years old.
Flexing on
42
him.
years old. And a fun fact, also another fun fact is, I think Bobby Fish was the oldest tag team winner, championship winner.
Oh right, yeah, he's in his 40s too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Take that L with you, AJ. Stick those fingers up your Rudy.
You know what, where's-
Poo. Kick the ass.
That was
Where's-
you put up a good fight there, AJ.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of myself. I
Yeah,
got
it was good, man.
2. Normally I get
Nice.
0.
I mean,
It's not true. This is not the one that I'm super bad at. It's music class that I'm super bad at.
Let's
Good
see.
questions, Primo. You were a hell of a host.
Wow. Okay, I'm sorry.
I said good questions,
Oh.
Primo. You were a hell of a host.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So you were super close, AJ. I thought you were way off with Shinsuke.
Yeah.
But currently, at this very moment in time, Shinsuke is 42 and Samoa Joe's 43. So they're just a year apart.
Well, plus I was going by when they held it, like who was the oldest.
We picked the top two then, I guess. So
Yeah.
we were pretty good on it. We were pretty good on it tonight, man.
You know,
so close.
It's still silver, but it's not winning.
So yeah, but second place out of 2 isn't the worst.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Yes, sir. Questions. Yes, sir. Good job, man. We'll bring that one back again next month when AJ is going to be the host and Primo and I are going to battle it out. So,
yes, sir.
Primo, try to take it back from me. All right.
Next week, not next month. Wait, is it next week?
Next week, we're doing Last Man Standing.
Oh, there we go. That's my bread and butter.
That's the one you
I beat Michael.
I know. I saw. Yeah. Remember, I was screaming in the chat.
Yeah.
And then I go check my phone after the pod, and there's AJ answering all the questions to me, like he was ringing in. He was.
What's even worse is like I was on the right track with the Texas Championships,
you were,
and I just didn't think to keep going.
AWA, like I would have
won AWA too. I even had that one on my mind as well.
All right,
God damn
Hit that music, Lemmy. It's time to find out if AJ can take the King of the Mountain here. Let's see.
Oh,
my bad.
Time to play the game.
All right, AJ wasn't with us last week, so we took a week off from King of the Mountain. Now we're going to circle back to it. The current King of the Mountain is Primo with a streak of 4, was the highest streak so far. AJ last week, or the last time we played, had just tied the King of the Mountain, Primo, with a streak of 4 as well. Primo and I dropped back down to 0, so AJ still at 4, Primo 0, DB at 0. Last time we chose between international friendly soccer here, and we were picking between Japan and USA, and AJ was going for the King of the Mountain. If he had picked correctly this match, he will take over as the new King of the Mountain with a new streak of 5. So let's see if he got this right. So it was Japan versus USA, international friendly. Primo and I went with the home guys, USA. AJ, knowing that USA is usually pretty bad in men's soccer, went with the Japanese on this one. So we need Japan to win here for AJ to become the new King of the Mountain. All right, let's see what the score was. The final score was USA 0, Japan 2, and new King of the Mountain, AJ.
That's 5. That's 5 in a row, Primo. Are you looking at me? 5.
I served my country, and this is the way USA soccer team. Oh, come on, guys.
AJ, congratulations. You are the new King of the Mountain with a streak of 5.
Thank you,
making a pick here shortly, going for 6, man. 6. How does it feel to be on top of the mountain here, looking down at us?
Feels pretty good. I'm going to take a pee here in a little bit, right on old Primo's head, because I'm way up on the mountain.
Way up on the mountain. You knocked me. You kicked me down to the gravel.
Yep. And I'm just going to start whizzing.
I love golden sprinkles. All right, AJ, good job, man. You're the new King of the Mountain with a streak of 5. And today we're going for 6. Primo and I, we're going to try to dig out of the cellar once again and see if we can get out of the 0 goose egg and get to 1. But the new King of the Mountain streak is 5. Congratulations, AJ.
Woo!
It's time to make another pick here, man. Let's see if you can keep this thing rolling to 6. We're going back to NCAA football this Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network. Today we are picking boys from the 2-2 Tulsa Golden Hurricanes. Hurricane, actually not plural, it's Hurricane. You're asking yourself why Tulsa Golden Hurricane? Well, I know Tulsa's in Oklahoma, and that's where Jack Swagger's from. So there's where the
There were no
reference
hurricanes
is.
in Oklahoma. That makes no sense.
I know there's
No,
never
they should
been
be
a
the
hurricane.
tornadoes. They should be the tornadoes. Yeah.
The Oklahoma tornadoes.
I never
So-
accused any Oklahomans of being smart.
The Oklahoma casinos.
So we got Jack Swagger's affiliation there. And they're going up against the 1-3 Navy midshipmen, of course, there, the branch of the military football team. And the midshipmen reminded me of Tugboat. So we got the Navy midshipmen with Tugboat versus the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, Jack Swagger, AJ, to take your streak to 6. Who's your pick going for? And just so you know, Navy is the home team.
I immediately Navy.
Okay.
I'm going Navy. They're way better than their 1-3 record suggests. I made that up. I don't know if that's true or not.
Primo, you want to go next, man? You are once in the Air Force. Are you going to stick with your military branch heritage here and go with Navy, or are you feeling like Tulsa's going to come on the road and take a win?
You have to pick
No,
with me,
the Air Force
sucker.
has their own team. Navy's garbage.
Is that the one that's good? I don't know.
I didn't say the Air Force was good. I said we have our own team. However, this is like when I have to pick the New York Giants, being a Dallas fan. This Texan,
you like Jack Swagger or Tugboat better?
yeah, this Texan will begrudgingly pick the Oklahoma team.
Oh, that shocks me. Weird. Not expecting that.
So you're going with Tulsa. So I'm going with Jack Swagger just so I can say, "We the people." Thank you, Primo.
Eventually, you guys should probably start picking with me.
No, because this is where you lose.
But
then you're trying to climb back up the mountain like we are.
Five in a row, though. 5 in a row.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
Good job, Primo.
Hey, I've been on that mountain. It only lasts so long.
Not this high. You haven't been this high.
It only lasts so long.
All right, so good job, AJ, here as the new king of the mountain. We'll be
Thank you.
coming back next week, see if you can make it to 6. So, AJ, it is time for your segment, my friend. Let's do it.
AJ's boner pills? Yeah, I said boner. Of the week.
What's funny is the heartbeat in the background. You're talking about a boner. It's like throbbing.
Throbbing, yeah. So,
all right, here we go. We talking Blue Chew?
AJ's boner pills of the week. So recently, there's been an ad going around on various radio stations of Ric Flair hawking boner pills. That's why I put on the
Wu-Tang shirt today.
That's the face that Ric Flair makes when he wants a little extra flair down there. If you know what I mean.
Clever. On Space Mountain.
Yeah. Well, see, Space Mountain is hard. It's a difficult ride now that he's like 87 years old. So he just
oldest ride, longest line, biggest cock.
Needs to grease the tracks, so to speak. So Ric Flair's been selling Mount Everest boner pills for those times that you need to stand at full attention to ride Space Mountain. Let's listen.
Oh, it's glorious. Nature Boy Ric Flair? What are you doing here?
The Nature Boy is always at his peak with Mount Everest. Woo! That's because only Mount Everest offers a unique 3-in-1 custom compounded medication. Mount Everest can have you standing at attention in as little as 5 minutes. Click now to see if Mount Everest is right for you. This ain't your grandfather's boner pill. Woo! Go to newimagemedical.com to see if Mount Everest is right for you.
This ain't your grandfather's boner pill?
Your grandfather's boner pill?
You mean yours? You mean yours? Like you're the grandfather.
Wouldn't you want your grandfather's boner pills? Because
exactly,
that's Viagra. Like,
God.
it's proven to work.
That's great.
So, you know,
it cracks me up at the beginning of the first one, where the lady's like, Nature Boy Ric Flair?
They're on a mountain.
He's standing on the top of a mountain that they're sitting there struggling to hike up.
Yes, well, they wanted to get ready to have some mountain banging, but, it's cold up there, so the guy's like, oh, my wiener, it's not at
I have just what you need. Mount Everest.
Ric Flair to save the day,
Woo!
Putting Flair in people's pants.
It's like, I knew that you'd want to get that boner out here. Here you go.
Like, you look like you need a good boner.
Not
Have
your
some Mount
grandfather's
Everest
boner pills.
Not your grandfather's boner pills. Ric Flair just said that. He got paid to say not your grandfather's boner pills.
I mean, to be fair, if somebody paid me to say boner, I'd do it.
Oh,
I'd
absolutely.
do it for free, so.
If someone paid me to pretend like I have ED and be like, oh, if you want your wiener to be full mast, try fucking
I mean,
Sailor
I'm not trying to
Jim
impress
boner
anybody,
pills.
so there you go.
All right, good stuff there, AJ. Thank you for letting us all know about Mount Everest boner pills.
Yes, so moral of the story is
public.
Ric Flair can't get a boner. Right. Allegedly.
He's the grandfather he's talking about. Oh, good shit. All right, Primo, take us home, man. Let's go.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer. You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, let's go home. Reminder, we are live every Wednesday on the Sit Down Marks YouTube channel, and the audio version drops every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts. Also, we are on SportzWire Radio every Friday evening right before the
number one
sports show. That is the Sports Report with Thomas Bryce, the Rev. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review if you love the pod. Tell your wrestling friends about us. Tell your non-wrestling friends about us. In fact, you can do me a favor. Tell your dog, tell your cat, tell a rabbit that you just bought for your daughter, and tell the neighbor down the street. After you do that, go buy our merch, because we have merch, and you can get to it whether you want t-shirts, baby clothes, some shirts for your small children, some masks for your face. www.tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. That's www.tpublic.com/STORES/SITDOWNMARKS.
All right, AJ, let us know what's going on next week, brother.
Back by popular demand, that and he wants to talk about masked wrestlers. The Better Harris, brother, Michael, once again returns to the pod next week to help us all talk about our top 5 favorite masked wrestlers of all time in Santino Marella voice.
Of all the times.
Of all the times.
Why didn't you put that before the sentence?
I just noticed I should have done that.
Little inside baseball.
We will see how we did predicting the WWE Extreme Rules Premium Live event and react to how the show was overall. And of course, we will talk about our wrestling weekend at Anarchy and Dreamwave. Promo School returns with another classic from Jake the Snake Roberts. And lastly, I'm going to smash these fools once again in the game called Last Man Standing. Please do join us. My apologies again for not being on the pod last week. I was way too busy ordering Logan Paul merch. Carry on.
Oh, good shit. Primo, man, what's going on in some headlines here?
I just want to add to that. Also, next week, we will be announcing the winner and 4-time Kurt Angle champion, Primo.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, what?
Next week.
I'm sorry, you were on mute. We didn't hear you. What was that?
Yeah. No.
I said also next week, I want to say that we're going to announce who gets the picks correctly the most and wins the Kurt Angle championship.
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to be me.
Anyway.
All right, so back to the headlines.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I didn't really do a whole lot. I blatantly ignored the Sammy and Andrade shit, so that's not on here. 25 years ago today at WWF Bad Blood, Kane made his debut, and this month, WWE has declared October to be Kane Month.
Month?
Silly name, but okay.
Mayor Kane.
Mayor Kane month.
Also, via Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, free agent wrestler Bandito has signed with AEW.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Another ROH
Just
guy.
had a match with Chris Jericho for the ROH title.
Great. Good idea.
Yeah, good stuff.
AEW has released new Halloween-themed merchandise. I saw there multiple shirts. There's a Danhausen. There's one for the Dark Order, and it's like a pumpkin with the Dark Order symbol, and they called it, the shirt's title was the Dark Gorder.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Some Impact Wrestling news. Scott D'Amore hopes to return to Canada and the UK in 2023. That's pretty cool. You know, promotions were starting to go back overseas.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love
it.
Getting scared of COVID as much, so yeah.
And finally, as much as I don't want to talk about this, Tony Khan says the investigation into the backstage altercation at AEW All Out is still ongoing via Fightful News.
Yeah,
cool.
Let it keep going and let it
Yeah, like wait, what?
Right.
Okay, at some point, you know, CM Punk doesn't show back up, and obviously the EVPs who have real stake in the company are showing back up because that's how business works.
Yes.
Right. There's a new show coming on Vice TV. It's called Tales from the Territories.
Yes.
Looks pretty interesting. The Rock, I think, is the narrator.
Yeah, this is going to be
of some of them.
This is going to be fascinating. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, so this will be good. And then last night in our text thread, Primo showed us the latest subjects of Dark Side of the Ring when it starts.
Pretty sure those are parodies.
They have to be.
They have to be.
I'm hoping. I'm holding out that some of those will be funny. So that's going to be starting up soon.
I want to say also that Tales from the Territories did begin last night.
Yeah, started October 4th.
First episode was about Memphis.
Yep.
You know what my favorite one out of these Dark Side of the Ring
the parody episodes?
Is?
The Cody Rhodes tattoo?
The outstanding career of Vacant.
Right, yes.
That one made Marty Jannetty's STD history. Rage Road, the Ryback story. These are hilarious.
Yes, Paige's three-way.
Pages
yeah. Oh, yes.
Babe in the Woods.
That
is fucking clever.
Big Black Dong.
Big Black Dong. The Virgil story.
All right, guys, last note here before we go home. Yes or no, quickly, will we see Bray Wyatt at Extreme Rules?
No.
Damn, we were both quick with that.
Yeah, I know.
When are we going to see him? On a Raw, on a SmackDown, or on a
Survivor Series?
Premium Live event. So we're going to do this barcode rabbit hole thing all the way to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Okay, so
WWE it and draw it out.
I've been keeping up with this rabbit hole thing.
Yeah.
Real quick, just what if it isn't Bray Wyatt? Is all the hype that has been created via the IWC gonna ruin the actual if it's not him? Because there are like in some of the binary code it translated to Gacy. That could also be a swerve.
Which I think it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because
they want us thinking in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
I read a couple of articles.
Sorry, go ahead.
I read a couple of articles on it, and apparently they have a couple of tech guys at WWE that are like super fucking clever. And so they're been kind of put in charge of this. So I think that that could be a giant swerve, like with a bunch of like
on
false
Monday
flags.
night was cool as shit. They posted a code that you only found if you clicked on the blank space in the screen, and it was they used the language from Predator.
That's fucking awesome.
Which I sat there because I like encryption and shit. So I sat there in my bed and decrypted the whole message. It was
Did you
crazy.
really?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Predator alphabet thing I had.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't think we'll see him either, but I think it's going to be soon. They can't drag it on too long, then people become disinterested. But
I will say, but between the white rat, like all this digging we're having to do, that's been fun. The backstage story with Dexter Lumis has been fun. Like all the stuff that's like indirectly happening is kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh, I totally forgot to mention the Dexter Loomis stuff that's in the background. Like I love that it's just in the background.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, nice little inner stories, man. Are making it pretty good. So you can definitely tell Triple H is getting his hands on everything.
Yeah.
You can also definitely tell that the wrestlers are having a lot more fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's so weird how apparent it actually is.
Yeah. All right, boys, good stuff, man. If y'all got anything else, man, we'll get on out of here. Remind everybody to come on out to St. Louis Anarchy on Friday in Alton, Illinois. And then we'll also be at Dreamwave Wrestling on Saturday. Presents Trick or Treat. Come check it out, man. This is one of the bigger cards of October, and looking forward to this big show on Saturday. Good job, boys. Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
What do you say we meet back here next week for, I don't know, episode 85? 15 away from 100.
Episode 85 is a good time to crown a 4-time champion.
It could be.
What we have right now is a teachable moment.
Ooh.
I agree. It would be a good time to crown a 4-time champ, but we always don't get what we want. So I
want to say you guys have fun this weekend on your ventures in indie show land.
Thank you, sir. Fun. Yes, sir. Keep spreading the good word of wrestling. AJ, take us home, dog. Junkyard dog.
Is there a soundbite? I forgot. Grab them cakes.
Real quick, I want to say that last week, Michael's Grab Them Cakes was so funny. It was great.
Yeah, we should clip that and play it every so often.
I have to admit that made me laugh hysterically.
And what was funny is I sprung that on him. I'm like, Michael, you're closing the show tonight.
Yeah, he had looked that pretty good.
He brought that. I was like, that was gold.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. We just need to bring him on here every week so he can do that.
Exactly.
I mean, he is the better Harrison brother.
You go fuck yourself.
You go fuck yourself. That's how the rivalry started between you and Michael, wasn't it? You said go fuck yourself, and it was on after that, wasn't it? Like, that's how it started.
And that's how it ended.
That's how it ended.
It's ongoing. Like, it'll never end.
Like, just with your middle finger up.
No, like, we'll just text each other for like hours. Go fuck yourself. No, you go fuck yourself. No, you go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's a healthy sibling relationship.
Top guys out. No, top guys out. No, top guys out.